This content is brought to you in association with my buddies over at Jam Cards UK. You can find the links to the eBay store and the Facebook page in the description. Hello duelists, it's Joe here from Rufioh. Welcome to the channel. You might indeed be wondering exactly where I have been. Well, I wanted to take this moment just before we get stuck into this mini vlog for YCS to explain to you exactly what's been going on in my life and why I've been doing a little bit less content than I've done in the past. Once upon a time, Rufioh had no life and used to do 3 videos a week, used to spend between 12 and 16 hours a week working on videos. That includes editing, recording time and all of that. Now it's important to realise why this channel was established in the first place. There are a number of reasons why I started the Rufioh YouTube channel. Firstly, I wanted a creative outlet. I've always been one of those people that needs a little bit of something to unwind and take the stress off the end of the week. I also wanted an opportunity to celebrate my locals, Manuscrew Locals if you haven't heard, which has now gone on to be one of the most successful locals in the UK, I would wager. Not that I can take all of the credit for that, but it probably helps. And the other thing I wanted to do was to create content that could help other duelists. In the grand scheme of things, I'm a pretty average competitive player, but I've always wanted to help the more casual player base who are interested in making that jump or maybe just improving their overall play. And lastly, I just wanted to get people into the game that I know and love that's helped me deal with a lot of issues in my life. The creation of the likes of lore videos, the bite-sized videos I started off with, and the vlogs to help people get through the likes of lockdown and things like that, where people didn't necessarily maybe have locals, whereas we had a very restricted one, other people couldn't necessarily go at all. And somewhere across that time, I ended up getting drawn into this whole I must deliver 3 videos a week without fail, and I did that for quite some time. But now, life has happened. Some of you may well be aware I had the birth of my child towards the end of last year. She's now actually 6 months old, which is great. But there are a lot of responsibilities and time-consuming activities that come with that. And most of my evenings consist of getting home, looking after her, and then I've got about half an hour before I'm climbing into bed. As you can imagine, that doesn't leave a whole lot of time for recording and editing. On top of this, I quite frankly enjoy spending more of my weekends at home with my kid than I do necessarily out on the road travelling around the country to attend regionals or locals as the case may be. So as a result of that, of course, I've scaled that back a little bit, been attending locals once a month, and of course the occasional regional or big events like YCS's and nationals and so on and so forth. And with that in mind, I've also been pursuing some of my other favourite hobbies. Ones that allow me to sit at home with my child, be there on hand to help if I'm needed, but also to get still that creative outlet that I need. I don't know, I'm going on a little bit here, but I just wanted to paint a picture of exactly where we're at in this whole scheme of things. The tail end of last year was particularly tumultuous. Straight after her birth, we ended up in hospital for a few more weeks, with my wife having some sort of infection going on. We then proceeded to move house, and before you know it, Christmas has happened, and we're into the new year. It was never my intention to take a break this long, nor to this degree, but here we are. Of course, I've been releasing some content, but not necessarily the kind you're used to. For absolute clarification, I do intend to continue to release content, probably just on a lesser scale. There's no problem with that in my mind. I am, however, mulling over the possibility of delving into some of those other hobbies that I have for content on YouTube. I don't know whether I'll do that on a separate channel or on this one, but you're welcome to stay along for the ride. Or if you're scared of something a little bit different, you're welcome to hop off the train anytime you like. But anyway, I digress. I'm definitely taking you away from the main event of what's going on today, and that is the YCS mini vlog. It definitely wasn't as in-depth as I might have hoped. I was unable to get a media pass. There was a lot more YouTubers than usual, and they changed the way it works, so I couldn't pick them up on a day-to-day basis, which is what we've always done in the past. They were given out on the Friday for the whole weekend, and I was not there on the Friday. I arrived 15 minutes after opening on Saturday, and there were no passes left. On top of that, we also didn't have Comic-Con, which is usually a huge staple feature of YCS London, so I couldn't include a lot of that content. But I'm going to be talking anyway about my experience. You guys can get an idea of how YCS works if you've not been to one, and see how terrible I did with my results. But anyway, enough waffling on from me. Let's get stuck into the video. British classic breakfast. Absolute shite, but it'll do. So we are almost 7 AM. It is the day of the YCS. Normally we have something a little bit before, but actually, yeah, we did fuck all yesterday. Well, certainly not Yugioh related. Went out to see life, spent some time with the family, all of that. I've had some time for other things I want to do, and that's why it's been a bit radio silence. But anyway, we're on the road, we're on the way to YCS London. And of course I have to vlog. Probably a terribly short one, but it's going to be a vlog nonetheless. We stopped off at Greg's, get some breakfast on the way. Jam's over there tucking into about 1,000 sausage rolls, I think. And yeah, we're just on our way. And let's see exactly how the day goes. So we have arrived at Excel. We are just chilling, kind of waiting, trying to figure out where to go. It's all changed a little bit. It's just after 8 o'clock. And I think 8:30 is when they open the doors, so I imagine it's going to be a nice big old queue when we get there. Yeah, we're just waiting to head on out. Normally the side gates are open, which I'm looking at right now, and they're locked, so God knows where we're going to go this time. I guess we'll figure it out, but for some context, I forgot to cover on this a little bit earlier. I'm playing Dinos today, I imagine very, very badly, because I've switched builds a few times. I haven't played a single locals with this build of the deck, and nor have I done a single test hand or single test game on a simulator of any kind, so this is not going to go particularly well. Don't care. Not really indexed enough at the moment. I have way too much stuff to do that are just away from the game. So as a result of that, I just don't really care. I'm here to have fun, see the boys, have a good laugh, and get some vlog footage. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, like I said, we're just going to go find out exactly where we've got to go and go see the hordes of Yu-Gi-Oh players. Just a small queue. This should only take a while. So we are round one down, we take the L, we lose to Sprite. Turns out Nibiru does absolutely nothing against that deck. And neither does Ash, and they're the two hand traps I play, so there we go. Round one down, yeah, like I say, we lose, so is what it is. Unfortunately, I'm having to record outside the hall, this hall right behind me, because they ran out of media passes. I got here 15 minutes after opening, and they ran out, and apparently it's because they were letting people keep them from the day before, which is unusual from previous experience. You have to bring them back, and they come collect another one, so it's a bit unfortunate, so we can't record in there, but that's fine. I can still do my results and stuff out here. And then of course, like I said, we start off with the L. Unfortunately, I think a couple of the other guys won. It was okay. I think maybe one other person lost. But again, I'm playing Dino, so I'm not really expecting much anyway. So yeah, we're just chilling for a bit now. We've got about another 20 minutes or so before the round ends, and then of course there'll be that long wait as always before the next round kicks off. So hopefully the next one goes a little bit better. So another round down. This is actually 2 rounds. The last one ended up being my opponent didn't turn up. So we got the free win, and then we just played against Branded. We lost in time, Masquerade. I had UCT in hand. I'm pretty sure I had game. Unfortunately had enough to just flip the trap, make a couple of fusions with a few seconds left. Again, I still had game in hand, but I needed 10 more seconds, and it is what it is. So yeah, we take the L there, and yeah, we're going back into the hall and see how we get on after the next round. And that rounds us off for the day. Duelists, we are just 4 rounds, something like that. We've decided to bounce. It's not going very well. My last round was against another Sprite player, and I can't play the Sprite with like Nib Ash, which is what happened again. I scooped game 1 because I didn't want to give away what I had, just in case I had something good for game 2. Game 2, we tried to go second again, didn't see any of our board breaker cards. I tried to play into it in case he played any mistakes, but he didn't. You know, he had like a pretty good comprehensive setup, so we lose that one as well. So we literally lose every game that isn't the one where my opponent doesn't turn up. Unfortunate, but again, 2 of those were Sprite. One was Branded Despia losing in time to burn when I had game in hand. He literally just had the trap to get enough momentum going to do fusions and kill the time off in a legitimate way, not in a scummy way, so I'm not too mad about it, but it just is what it is. We decided to bounce. Everyone else had already dropped anyway. I was clearly just going to carry on losing games, so there's no point. I wanted to come and do the vlog, which is normally the big thing I want to do at YCS every time. We weren't here for the Friday night because of a number of reasons, and then I wasn't allowed a media pass in the hall because there was none left. They'd all gone, so I wasn't even able to record in the hall really, which again takes away a lot of the fun. It kills a lot of the b-roll I like to get, all of the, you know, recording people and stuff like that. We can't do any of that, so it is what it is. So yeah, but wrapping up the day, we are about to head home again after just a few rounds. It's a shame, but we've got a regional next week, and hopefully that's a little bit better and I can do a little bit more with that. But anyway, that's me done for the day, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed enough to hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.